Siomra
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the tiny room. Welcome back to On Siomra. I am the Michael of the titular Michaelandbenjaminspodcast, and I am joined by the man who, in all of Irish podcasting, he is the one who proves the rule that sequels aren't always worse than the original. It's Ben.
Titular.
Ben, this is very good. Ben, we're doing a spooky episode, even though it's the middle of September.
It's not quite Halloween time, but we're getting prepped, Michael. We're Halloween fans here at the podcast, so we're getting ready.
And Ben, things are spookily falling off the walls.
That's due to, I told you already, it's a lack of adhesive.
Yeah, with the stickers.
In the room.
You know what is the one proven solution for things not sticking to the wall properly?
What?
The insertion of theme music.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Ben, this week we're talking about spooky stuff, and nothing, Ben, is more spooky than a clown.
Tears of a Clown. Wow.
Yeah, the clown, the man who cried, Wolf.
Bloody, yeah, hey men. Spooky, scary clowns.
Benjamin.
Shivers down your spine.
Speaking of spooky, scary clowns, Joker continues to both get excellent reviews and cause controversy.
Controversy, eh?
You say controversy?
No, I say controversy.
It's mad, though. Look, Ben, people are excited about it, but are they?
Well, what do you mean, Michael? Give me a little bit more.
Well, Ben, you're
teasing me with crumbs here, Michael. I'm following you down the path, but you're giving me nothing.
You're a noted incel.
I am a committed incel.
So as an incel, Ben, the Joker is going to be your hero, I think, and in some way lead to the degradation of society.
I told you this last week, Michael. We talked about this.
Did we?
Gamers Rise Up. He's going to be touted as a mascot for a bunch of bloody incels and misogynists.
Oh, misogynists are the worst. What did I say?
Anyway, go on. Tell me more, Michael.
It's getting rave reviews.
Yes.
Do you think it's true, though?
No, I think a bunch of people see Joaquin Phoenix as an anorexic Joker and they're like, oh my god, he's so edgy.
He's so edgy. There's
so
no Batman.
edgy.
It doesn't even mention Batman.
Now, do I doubt, Michael, that it's a good film? No.
I think it's a good film.
I think it's probably a good film, Michael. But do I trust the fan base necessarily to reflect that in a proportionate manner, Michael?
No. You don't never trust a fan base.
Never trust a fan base.
Or a dick base.
Or
Benjamin.
Or two men in a room giving their opinions about pop culture.
About other fans. Ben, I went to see the film It Chapter 2.
Oh, you alright?
I'm fine, yes. You wouldn't come with me. You were struck down by a dose of coward's blood.
A strong dose of courage. I don't like scary movies, Michael.
I know, they frighten you.
They frighten me something fierce,
You
Michael.
became frightened at the mere mention of the concept of going to see.
You could see me on the tram. A little old lady asked me, "Did I want her seat?" It was terrible. My knees were
and then
wobbling.
she was a demon.
It turns out she was a bloody demon lady.
Benjamin,
She gave me poop in a cup.
I'm not leading into this week's review too early. I'm just telling you this because there was a certain irony in the trailers when I went to see it.
Go on.
I will. There were 4 trailers, Ben, I think.
Yeah.
The first trailer was the new trailer for Birds of Prey, which starts as an It parody.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the balloons appear and the It music, the It music that sounds a bit like a clown laughing.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That plays, and then Harley Quinn appears and slaps the balloons out of the way and goes, "I've had it with clowns."
Ooh.
And then it's the bloody Birds of Prey. You see, it's a little cross promotion.
I like
but
it.
then, ironically enough, considering we saw Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, the very next trailer was for the Joker.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No.
That's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, because they've emancipated her from that relationship, but now he's back.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, there's an essay all about that on burningpapertigers.com, the essay thing that I used to...
Oh, you don't like that relationship, Ben?
No, I'm not a big fan, Michael. Not a big fan. Neither is the creator, Paul Dini. I think he got very annoyed once it was run within the comics, and he's like, I think you missed the point, lads.
People are always missing the point.
They are. It's a common thing.
Bloody...
You only wanted to do one podcast with me, and now you're stuck with me.
So going to bloody 2.
Bloody 117 episodes in.
And our side project, Collecting Issues.
Collecting Issues.
Out every second Wednesday.
Every second Wednesday.
Benjamin.
Oh, wow.
What was I saying?
You saw the trailer for...
Then the next 2, I'm just telling this little completely irrelevant side story about pop culture trailers. Then the next film, there were 3 Will Smiths in the next 2 films.
Really?
Because the first was a trailer for the film Gemini Man.
Which is the vainest Will Smith project to date. He did After Earth with his son, who looks vaguely like him.
Turn on the computer
So
there,
that
Ben.
would be very useful. And then
Yeah.
he just got rid of his son. He was just like,
get
I
rid
can
of
just do it myself.
I just do it
Now
myself.
he's just doing 2 movies.
And then the next film was bloody Bad Boys for Life.
Martin Lawrence has put on some weight.
I thought he was in a fat suit,
I
Ben.
thought he was in a fat
I thought
suit.
that was going to be the joke.
I thought it was Big Mama's House 4.
Yeah, and he was going to lose some weight. It does go to show, though, that Big Mama's House suit was pretty good.
Very accurate as things turn out. On the upside, for Big Mama's House 5,
Yes.
no costuming budget needed. Just a quick wig and a
Okay.
shave.
Come on, stop fat shaming Martin Lawrence, noted Hollywood actor Martin Lawrence.
But they play into it well. It looks like that's what they're going to be. I think that's the crux of many jokes.
There's
is
just gonna
that
be fat
Martin
jokes.
Lawrence has passed his prime.
Ugh. I have only seen Bad Boys 1 and 2 once each, and I do not remember them.
Well, you're not supposed to, Michael. It's Michael Bay. Bay.
Is Bay doing this one?
Don't know. Looks like it though. from what I understand in the trailer.
I didn't see a sexy lady in the trailer cleaning a car.
That comes later.
That will definitely
Maybe they've reined in Michael Bay on that one. He's like, well, it's post Me Too. You know, maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
have sexy ladies washing the cars. He's like, okay, but I get to have 6 more explosions. They're like, fine, Michael.
Is that the explosions to sexy lady ratio?
Yeah, they
Six
have to balance
explosions
it
per sexy lady.
out. Yes, so if he loses 1, he gets an extra 6.
That's called the Ben Cullopy sexy lady explosion ratio.
Patent pending. But yeah, the thing I enjoyed the most was the bit where they just told them to stop singing the Bad Boys theme tune. It's the little add-on. What do you call that little moment after a trailer? And it's just a little add-on.
I don't know.
I do it in the
Extra
Comic-Con
trailer.
videos occasionally, where we have a little joke at the end.
A post-credits stinger?
Yeah,
Is it a
stinger. Let's call it a stinger. But I
think
enjoyed
it is
the bit where
called
they're
a
like,
stinger.
no, you don't get to sing that.
And you're getting the lyrics all wrong.
Yeah, and you get the lyrics all wrong.
They're hard to learn or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy those little moments.
I'll go see it. I'll go see it. Ben.
Are you
I'll
gonna
go see it.
see
I'll
it?
go see it.
You're gonna see it?
Yeah, I enjoy an action comedy, as we know.
Have you seen the trailer for... Oh, no, I've forgotten the name of it. Never mind. Move on. We'll do it next week.
No.
We'll do it
This
next
could be.
week.
This
It's
could
the
be
new
a
Irish
comedy
horror
gold
movie
mine.
coming out. The horror comedy
There's a new Irish horror
with
comedy.
Will Forte. Yeah.
Oh, Ben, that
We'll
right
have
into
to
our
go see it.
wheelhouse.
Oh no, it's Extra Normal is what it's called,
Hmm.
as a play on paranormal.
Oh, very interesting.
Let
And
me
it's an
double check
Irish
this.
horror comedy.
Yes, so it's about,
Yes.
from what I've gathered from the trailer,
Yes.
it's about a lady who can speak to the dead,
Oh, very good.
or she sees the dead.
A bit of a trope, but go on.
And she's just in a town full of Irish people that take this as perfectly normal. They're like, "Are you talking to anyone today, Sheila?" And it's a whole play on our accent and our mannerisms and stuff like that. But the main pull of the film, I suppose, as you could say, is bloody Will Forte, noted American comedic actor Will Forte,
I don't know who Will Forte is.
who's playing an American Satanist who has kidnapped someone and plans to sacrifice them.
He doesn't ring a bell for me.
He doesn't ring a bell. That's
No, I don't recognize him.
really bizarre, Michael.
What was he in?
He was in every American comedy of the last 15 to 20 years.
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory. He's also starred in a very long-running popular
Will and
TV show,
Grace.
Last Man on Earth. He's Saturday Night Live alum.
No, I never heard of him.
Oh, okay, well, he's going to be in...
I tell you what, knowing who he is, Ben, isn't my forte.
I see what you did there. That's very good.
I've
'cause
taken his name.
Forte means a strength.
Yeah, and that's his name.
And that's his name. That's very good. What it's called is it's hidden all the way down here. I don't think Extraordinary is what it's called.
That's what you bloody said. You already
Yeah,
said that.
I know. I was just
Ben, if my name was William Forte, I would tell people my name was Willie Strength. That's what I would tell people. Just call me Willie Strength. Anyway, look.
So you saw a scary clown.
Bloody spooky scary clown. No, Ben, we're actually going to divert off that for a second, because speaking of spooky scary things, more than a year ago, Ben, you introduced me to a world of a spooky scary website. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
Have you seen the new video game Control?
Is it all about the SCP Foundation?
Not really,
Oh,
but kind of yes.
but kind of yes. Tell me more.
It's about a government agency whose job is to, get this, Ben, secure, contain and protect people
But that's,
from objects which have encountered the paranormal.
But Michael, that's SCP.
It's pretty much SCP. It's pretty much SCP the video game.
Oh, okay. Is it a fan thing?
No, it's
collaborative?
a AAA title. It's by, I think, what are they called? Requiem Games or Relief Games or random something with R, but they're a big AAA game publisher.
Oh, and
there's budget behind this, and it's
Oh.
it's a fully rendered 3D. As if that's important. It's a fully rendered 3D experience AAA game. That's what I'm saying. It could have been a bloody text adventure, Ben, but it's not. It's not. I think that's why it's not an official SPC.
SCP.
Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Strange Creatures.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's not official. It's just kind of
that, and they don't want to pay all the people that created all those wononderful objects, Michael.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
think
the thing,
that's
isn't
what
it?
it is.
Isn't that the thing about something which it would be next to impossible to license that?
Well, you see, this is the tricky thing, Michael. The SCP. So, for anyone that hasn't heard our previous episode on SCP, you can go back and check it out.
Our most listened to episode, I think.
Possibly. The SCP community is very supportive.
Yeah,
Good job, lads.
Good bunch of eggs.
Great bunch of lads. Good
And
eggs all around.
ladies.
Lads is in the pejorative sense, as in everybody.
That's not what
I haven't used
pejorative means.
properly. What does pejorative mean? Shit. Never mind. In the all-inclusive sense is what I meant to
There
say.
you
I
go.
don't know why I said pejorative. I knew it the second it came out of my mouth. I was like, nope, that's not right. The SCP Foundation is a collaborative fictional project. Where a group of people come together and they write object entries. And the objects come in 3 different classes. There's Euclid, Keter, and I'm going to forget the last one.
I don't think you're going to. I think you have.
I have, yeah. I've forgotten the last one. But it's Euclid, Keter, and there's 3 classifications. One is, it's safe, Euclid, and Keter, isn't it? Not what it is? Anyway, doesn't matter. There are 3 classes. Some are objects that are completely contained and no longer have an effect as long as they remain in their containment. Other objects are dangerous if interacted with by humans, and other objects are reality-damaging, warping, world-ending possibilities. And the really cool thing about it is it's just internet people coming together and creating fiction,
making a thing.
And it spawned off various different things, which we've discussed in the podcast before. One of the great things is Volgan, which is a YouTube channel by a man from Northern Ireland, and he reads out SCP entries in full voice acted.
He does, and they're not all from Northern Ireland. Like, he doesn't go,
no, he's great.
Then the weird thing escaped out of the chamber and fucking ripped off your man's head.
And it was terrible. We, the people of Northern Ireland, will not stand for this kind of hostility. And it was, he's very good though.
You've made that a bit political there.
I did, I always do. I always do. But he's an absolutely brilliant voice actor and does a great job of...
He's nearly as good a voice actor as I am.
Almost there now. And the really interesting thing I found out about him is he 3D models all of his environments that he puts in the videos. So all the creatures that you see are not kind of taken from the internet. He makes all those himself.
That's very good, isn't it, Ben?
He molds them for every video, which I was very impressed by. But anyway, he does a great one. But there was a bit of controversy very recently in Russia because someone in Russia...
Found one?
No, patented the SCP logo.
Russia.
And they were charging people when they used it as part of the internet community.
Yeah,
and they were bringing cases against people. It's
in Russia.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a thing of someone trying to claim what is a collaborative effort. And I suppose the game company, because it's a really fantastic... Requiem games?
Yes.
Is that what we're going to call them?
No, that's right.
All right. Okay. Requiem games, I'd say, is sidestepping a large amount of internet backlash from people who are saying, but this is a...
Remedy. It's Remedy.
Remedy games. And I'd say they're possibly avoiding a lot of backlash from the SCP community, which is quite large, Michael.
It is. Look, I don't know. We probably could have researched more, but this wasn't the main topic. So
no, it wasn't.
Let's bloody move on. Because,
okay.
Tell you what, Ben. Tell you who saw a bloody film was me.
We already did that. Go on, go back to it. Go on.
I want to see a film, Ben.
Go on.
I had to go. Basically, Ben, I went with Jim's girlfriend.
Coward's Blood. Not Jim's girlfriend because of
No,
Coward's
she's
Blood.
the only one. The only one of you. The only one of my 9 friends.
What happened to Jim?
Coward's Blood. They've all got Coward's Blood.
What happened to Shane?
Coward's Blood.
What happened to Katie?
Coward's Blood. They all have Coward's Blood. So anyway.
So Jim's good lady friend escorted you.
Hero's Blood, she
Hero's
is.
Blood.
So anyway, I saw It Chapter 2. Ben, as you know, Ben, It Chapter 2 is the follow-up to It Chapter 1.
Yes.
Which was released in 2017, I think.
Not that long ago.
But not that long ago, but quite long ago.
Yeah, well, okay, fine.
Like when you think about the fact, for example, that the adult characters weren't cast when It Chapter 1 was made.
True.
So it was pretty...
Significantly long ago.
Significantly long ago. In terms of a film like this, which feels like they were made together and then split up.
Pejoratively speaking.
Pejoratively speaking, a while ago. Ben, It Chapter 2 is the story of a group of adults returning to the town of Derry. Derry? There's a wee clown.
Hey, there's a clown knocking
There's a
around.
wee
We're going to
clown.
have to deal with that.
Not that Derry. Not Free Derry.
Oh, now he's making things political.
Derry in America.
In
Derry
America.
in Maine. And they return 27 years after they defeated Pennywise the evil clown.
Who sounds
Because
like Winnie the Pooh with a chest cold. Yeah.
because he's back, Ben. He's back, the son of a bitch.
Oh, he's a real bad egg.
And we know he's back because he kills a gay man.
Oh, Gaiman.
Yeah,
For what reason?
One of the most famous scenes of the original book, I didn't think would make it into the adaptation, but it did, Ben.
The killing of a Gaiman.
Yeah.
Well, Gaiman dies sometimes, Michael. It does
Well,
happen.
it's a hate crime. There's a bit of gay bashing in Derry. In the book, Ben, basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to give my thoughts on this and keep saying, in the book, Ben.
Yeah.
In the book, Ben, there is a gay bashing incident and a gay man is killed, but it's implied that a lot of that negative shit that goes on in Derry is because of Pennywise's presence.
Stirring the pot.
Yeah, not even stirring the pot. It being there makes people more racist and more
aggressive.
and more aggressive and more rapey and more paedophile and more. It just makes everything shit.
Well, that's not nice, is it?
But that implication isn't in this film.
Oh.
It just looks like they're a bunch of gay bashing bigots. Yeah.
That's weird.
But
it's
weird.
not the Losers Club that gay bashes.
No.
the
It's a
symbol,
bunch of teens played by men in their 20s.
it's a classic American trope.
Yeah, and they see a gay couple and they bash them and throw him into the water and he gets out safely, but then the clown gets him. And it's straight out of the book. But in the book it's set in the 50s, which I suppose.
so it's modern
I suppose
in
that
the-
scene is set in the 80s. Which
Okay.
I think there was more gay bashing then. I don't know.
There probably was.
I don't know.
AIDS? Epidemic?
I think that was even possibly
Gay
before
fight?
AIDS really became huge. But what I'm saying is, it felt weird set in 2016.
Yeah. Is it? Are they trying to aim for a little bit of commentary? Was it trying to be a
I
little
don't
bit?
know. Well, I don't think they were, Ben, because it's just directly from the book.
Okay,
it's
fair
just
enough.
lifted straight out of the book. They changed some things about the book, but then oddly keep things like that. They didn't, Ben. You'll be delighted to hear keep the child sex scene.
Oh, that was actually made me quite happy.
Yeah, that was one of the better choices.
That was one of the cleaner, healthier choices.
The thing about this film, Ben, is if you remember the first film,
Yes.
do you? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I had to sit through it.
Cowards, bud.
I was curled up in a ball with my hands in my ears the whole time.
There's two things really to say about this. The film itself. No, hold on. Let me express that better. The book is famously really good with the scene setting and the spooky, scary things.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Exactly. And the Boogly Wooglies that are coming to
Boogly
get
Wooglies,
the Boogly Woogly Man, and they're coming to get the kids. And then the adult sections are good, but not quite as well received in general. And if you remember the 1990-something miniseries
With Tim Curry.
with Tim Curry, the kid one is pretty good, and then the adult one, bag of shite.
But kids are more entertaining to watch being hunted by a monster.
That's a large part of it, a bit of that Goonies feeling, a bit of
Yeah,
that Monster Squad feeling.
I think that was very much a big thing, though, wasn't it? Wasn't like you do get that 80s nostalgia that, you know, we can do it. Woo, the Losers Club.
Yeah, that's a large part of the success of it. And you have to say, it has to be said, Ben, that in this film, when the kids are on screen, it lights up. The adults are fine. Mostly fine.
Mostly fine.
Some very good performances. The actor who plays Eddie is some of the best casting from child to adult I have ever seen in my life.
I can't believe I love Bill Hader.
No, Bill Hader plays Richie Tozier.
Okay.
And Bill Hader is very funny.
He usually is.
And the guy who plays Eddie is very funny. It leads into another issue with it. That Richie and Eddie, Bill Hader and the guy whose name I've forgotten, are great. They're really fun. Every time they're on screen,
You enjoy.
it's amazing. Isaiah Mustafa, is that his name? The guy from the Old Spice ad. Look at you. Look at your man. Now look at me. Back to your man. Unfortunately, he isn't me.
Is that a saying, Mustafa?
Yeah.
Good name.
He is a bit generic, unfortunately.
Oh.
He kind of plays an eager 90s Denzel Washington outfit wearing
Guy.
Remember how Denzel Washington used to dress in the 90s?
I do indeed.
That's
Leather
how this
jackets
guy-
galore.
That's how this guy dresses. It looks like he's doing a Denzel Washington
Nice.
cosplay. It's pretty
I
funny.
like
And then Ben Hanscom, the kid who was fat and then grows
No.
up handsome.
Ben Handsome.
Ah, very
He's-
good.
he's my
Yeah,
man.
I see what you've done there. He was a fat kid, but then he grows up handsome.
Yes.
He's a bit of a damn squib.
Oh.
Beverly is a bit of a damn squib. Jessica Chastain has less.
Is that Bryce Dallas Howard or Jessica Chastain?
It's Jessica Chastain. It could have been Bryce Dallas
It
Howard.
could have been Bryce Dallas Howard.
It
would
didn't
have
make
been
much difference, to be honest, in all honesty, except for one little scene where she's escaping from her abusive husband.
Oh,
And
good.
she's going through her wardrobe. She reaches for a pair of high heels and then picks a pair of runners.
Oh,
which
that's
I
good.
think- I
You
think
enjoyed
that.
that.
Was a little nod to Bryce Dallas Howard in the bloody Jurassic
World, where she was doing the old sprint
through the jungle. But yeah, she's a bit of a damn squib. She has less charisma than the teen actors have more charisma than all of them.
They always did, though. They were pretty great.
They're
It was
really
a great cast.
They're
in the first
really good teen actors. They're brilliant.
one. Yeah.
But the other thing is, the kids are better written than the adults. It's always been
Mm.
that way. The adults are a bit cookie cutter, a bit dull.
Standard. Little
Yeah.
bit of tragic backstory
Yeah.
to show the PTSD of originally facing down the clown.
Yeah, I mean, just the kid story is so much better than the adult bit. So it was always going to be a struggle. The problem with this film, Ben, is it doesn't know what it is.
Oh, no.
If I had to describe it, I would say it's an overly long action adventure comedy horror epic.
Thing.
That's what it wants to be. And
Yeah.
it doesn't want to be overly long,
How
but it
does-
is. It's nearly 3 hours.
Too long.
Yeah, but it's an overly long action adventure comedy horror
It's too long.
with a bit of cosmic epicry thrown in.
Do they go cosmic? Do they go full cosmic?
They don't go as cosmic. The word maturin is mentioned.
Okay, but do I get to see a giant turtle or
No,
not, Mick?
there's no giant turtle in it.
God, I'm
Shall we
glad I
go
didn't go.
Look, it doesn't even bear really talking about spoilers,
Well,
but let's just say we're going to talk
we'll-
about spoilers from now on.
We'll do a quick 5-minute spoiler.
Even though everyone's read the book. If you haven't read the book's the best one. And most people have seen the miniseries.
Except for the child sex scene.
Yeah,
That's
not
pretty gross.
Suboptimal,
Suboptimal.
as they say, Ben.
Pejoratively speaking.
Suboptimal, and not as in like Optimus Prime's slave. Bumblebee.
That's Optimus's sub.
Yeah, all right.
You-
See what I've done there.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
Spoilers.
Spoilers for the film that we saw.
You saw.
There's Stephen King stuff in it. There's a
What
good- there's
do
good
you
bit of
mean there's Stephen King?
Stephen King himself was in it, for example.
For fuck's
But you
sake.
know how one of the problems is that the lead character Bill Denborough, as played by Professor Xavier,
James
Xavier,
McAvoy.
James McAvoy with a stutter and an American accent.
Great.
He has always been a real bore of a character.
Why is that now? Is he too good?
He's Stephen King.
Oh.
He's a writer. He's married to a sexy lady. He's the hero of the story.
Stephen King can't help himself. He just can't.
Can't help himself. He just can't control it. But one of the great little running gags throughout the film is that people hate his endings.
Very good.
It's very funny.
Because
So
we all hate Stephen King's ending.
exactly. So
Shit.
a movie adaptation has been made of one of his books, and everyone keeps telling him that they're changing the ending because they hate the ending. And then later on, he goes to a shop where he sees his old bike, and the shopkeeper is Stephen King. And he notices that Stephen King is reading one of his books, and he says, "Do you want me to sign it?" And he says, "No, I hated the ending."
Nice.
So
Nice.
the whole time you're thinking, are they going to change the ending of this now? Because it's pretty faithful.
Okay.
It's
Okay. How does it end? I don't even know.
It turns into a giant spider.
Oh yeah,
And
I
they
remember.
fight
Okay,
it.
Yeah.
And
I always mix up the first time they fight him with the last time they fight him. It's very confusing for
well,
me.
Ben, the takeaway message from both of these films is that if in doubt, bullying. That's the solution to everything. In the first one, they gather around the clown and kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yes.
Crowbars and
With imagination. With imagination.
Yeah, but mostly chains.
Yeah, mostly chains.
And a poker.
Yeah.
And in this one, they literally bully him into submission.
Go on.
They gather around him and they say, "We have to make him small." Eddie realizes that they can make him small to beat him.
Right.
Well, Eddie and Mike. It's kind of a team up.
Eddie
And
Mike.
They realize we have to make him small to beat him. So they gather around him and they call him names. They're like, you stupid son of a bitch, I'm going to kick you in the head. And then like, they basically bully him. And they bully him so much and he gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And they're like, you're just a stupid clown, you little ugly son of a bitch. And they kick the shit out of him.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, the message of the two films is,
Bullying works.
if in doubt, bullying.
Bully the shit
Yeah.
out of it.
If something is bothering you, the best thing you could possibly do is gather up a group of your friends, bully them into submission, and then kick the shit out of them.
How's the actor who plays it? Is he
Very good. Bill
pretty
Skarsgård.
good?
Yeah, he's
Bill
fine. Yeah,
Skarsgård. He's
like,
pretty good.
He didn't. Oh, I thought you meant emotionally. No, I don't think they weren't targeting him specifically. Bill, you're shit at acting.
Can you imagine?
You're a one-trick pony, Bill.
Guys, I have to take a break.
No, he's very good. I would say there's not that much of it in it, considering its very long runtime.
Really?
Mm.
Not enough it for it.
One of the issues with the second part of the story
Go on.
is that it is actually a pretty ineffectual villain.
That's always what happens with a horror movie, though, once the monster is actually out there in the open. That's a classic Mick analysis of horror movies.
Well, here's the thing, Ben. In this, more than any, he's pretty ineffectual because he can't actually hurt them as adults.
Oh, because it only works on kids.
Well, you have to be scared of him. So he basically just shows up to scare you.
Okay.
That's all he wants to do. He wants
Okay.
to make you more and more scared.
So he can eat you.
So he can eat you. Because once you get a certain amount of scared, that's when he can get you. Although it seems to be with kids, he can just get them if they're scared or not. It's not
It's
consistent.
loosely played with Stephen King.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, you're looking at it and you're looking at them running away from it, and you're like, just punch him in the head. Just 27 years ago, you all ganged up and kicked the shit out of him. Just call them names and then punch him in the. Just get me. I'm great at bullying, Ben. You'll attest to that.
You are.
Get me over.
Fantastic.
I'll sort it out for you.
You could take him on alone.
I know. I'm watching the film
Get
going.
him a bloody armbar.
Bloody get him in a headlock. Give him a nuggie.
So is that the end of it then, once they defeat him the second time?
Yes.
But now there's new. You've heard this about Stephen King. Apparently, he comes back again. It's not dead.
No,
in
it's
other
dead.
books, it's no. But in the books, it's mentioned that they talk about Maine
Well,
and how there's been a
they,
bout of children missing again
yeah,
in Maine
yeah,
years and years later.
Well, Stephen King used to like throwing Easter eggs from his own work into his own work, and then he developed it into an extended universe. But as far as I'm aware, after the Losers Club beat him the second time, he's dead.
Okay.
Lots of things change, like they don't lose their memories anymore when they leave Derry and things. Derry.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a good film. It's an
Okay.
enjoyable film. It's an enjoyable action adventure comedy horror.
Are they very graphic with the infamous opening to the older part where most of the kids come back but one of them doesn't?
Well, I think it's fair to say that that's not a spoiler, but we're already in spoiler territory.
Yeah, fair enough.
Stanley does die. He commits suicide.
Okay.
It's not very graphic,
Okay.
and there are some pretty graphic scenes in it
Yeah,
of
this isn't
violence,
one.
but this isn't. They do a thing. I meant to talk about this. I had this in my notes, but you've just reminded me.
There you
They
go.
do a thing in it where they redeem Stanley's suicide.
Well, you're not allowed to shame suicide, really. It's not on.
In the book and the original series, Stanley commits suicide because he's scared.
We say coward's blood, do we?
Coward's blood, you
Coward's
could
blood.
say. And, we're a little bit more sensitive towards suicide in
You
this
really
day
are
and age.
built for taking on.
I
it.
could kick the shit out of it. It's one of my dreams that it would target me. He's like, I'm going to get you, Mick. And like, are you? Are you
Really?
though? Really?
Really?
You want to try? I'm very emotionally sturdy.
You are. It's very hard to slag Mick.
What are we talking about?
Go on. Your suicide. They redeem
Suicide
the
thing.
suicide.
So in this, after they've defeated it, they all get a letter from Stanley, and maybe this is in the original, but I don't bloody remember it. And Stanley says, I knew I was too scared to go back, so I would have been a hindrance. I knew if I didn't go back, and only 6 of us went back, the circle wouldn't be complete. So I did the only thing I could do. I took myself off the board.
Oh, okay. So it's a hero move.
They've made it a heroic suicide, a heroic sacrifice rather than a
just go
cowardly.
back.
Well,
if
he was
you're
too
afraid
scared.
of dying. Yeah, but if you're afraid of dying.
But he was too scared, Ben.
Yeah, I won't do that. I promise.
He wasn't afraid of, but he wasn't afraid of dying. He was afraid of the clown.
Yeah.
And remember, he was
I always
the
mix
most
them
scared
up.
of him.
What was his fear again? Which one was his fear in
He
the
was
first one?
I don't remember. I don't remember what Stanley's
See
figure was.
the leprosy lady.
No, the leprosy is Eddie.
Eddie.
And Eddie beats up the leper in this.
Burning is Isaiah Mustafa's.
Yeah, because his parents
Burned
Mike,
alive. Yeah. I'm having a real tough time remembering this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, go on.
Werewolf?
Oh, was it the werewolf?
Was it?
That's pretty shit.
They stuck with the Paul Bunyan thing as well.
Oh, no way.
The
big morphine Paul Bunyan thing?
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen because it was so visibly obvious in the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does. They do a big spooky Paul Bunyan.
That's
and
bizarre.
it's not that spooky.
No.
Because Bill Hader's like, it's not real. I know it's not real. And then it's not real. And just kick the shit out of him.
Just kick the shit out of him. So, ladies and gentlemen, 2 things to take away from this.
Yes.
Bullying works.
Yeah.
And don't live in Maine.
If in doubt, bullying. Anyway, Ben.
Yeah.
Speaking
of spooky
scary skeletons. Speaking of just kicking the shit out of it being a weakness of monsters, today we decided that we would take a look at some of the spooky scary stories. We should have saved this for Halloween. What are we doing?
You picked the topic this week. This has nothing to do with me.
We're going to take a look at some of the spooky scary stories ripe for the picking, Ben.
Yes.
In popular culture from Irish mythology.
Well, Celtic mythology in general, but Irish mythology in the pejorative sense, yes.
You go first there, Ben, you son of a bitch, or I'll come over there and kick you in the head.
I think when Mick pitched this one to me, we said Celts or Irishmen in Ifreann, which is Gaelic for Irishmen in hell. And there's a lot of deathy kind of helly things going on in Celtic mythology. But rather interestingly, hell isn't one of them. Celtic mythology in general doesn't have a hell.
No, just a heck.
So to speak. They have pure heckin'. But yeah, they don't have a set hell.
Right.
We have some similar concepts to Valhalla, in that you earn your way there through combat and death.
Oh, I'll be going there.
Definitely, once you kick the shit out of it.
Just kick the shit out of him. Just kick him in the head. What's wrong with them? Why are they running away? He's standing in front of them. You just get him in the head, look.
Oh,
his big bulbous head.
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh sounding.
Anyway, I hope some of our listeners now decide to team up and try to frighten me.
I hope not. I don't want to be part of that. I want out. But anyway, the one that most people know is Tir na Nog.
Tir na Nog.
And Tir na Nog is the land of eternal youth in Irish mythology, but it's also a afterlife substitute for other things. And different heroes in Celtic mythology go there. But in terms of an actual hell, we don't have one in the same way that other mythologies have. So in Nordic mythology, you have Hel or Niflheim, whichever you prefer.
I don't think you get a choice.
In the old Christian mythology, we have Hell.
Yeah.
Just
classic Hell.
Classic Hell. Dante has his 9 circles.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We don't actually have one, Michael, but we do have some rather interesting deities around the concept of death and destruction. We're big fans of demons here in Celtic mythology, odd kind of creatures. I suppose you wouldn't call them demons. That's a Christianization. But sure, look. One of the big ones,
go on,
Michael. That's occasionally crops up in pop culture is the Morrigan.
Oh,
who is I suppose our equivalent of the goddess of death.
Oh,
and she got her big moment to shine in the Ulster cycle of mythology with Cuchulainn.
Have we talked about the Morrigan before?
We have. She's popped up here and there.
Okay, yeah.
Just a little bit though, not a lot.
Yeah, because she's always sexy in modern interpretations.
She's quite sexy in old stories as well.
But like old Irish sexy.
But old Irish
sexy. She has
sexy.
a lot of land.
She's got nice ankles. And that's all we get to see. And she's got frontage.
Yeah, road frontage.
Miles of frontage. And do you know what?
Go on.
She can milk a cow in 60 seconds flat.
Oh, nom.
And her cabbage and bacon stew is pretty decent.
Sublime, yeah.
Sublime. So, the Morrigan is most commonly associated with crows in our mythology. She's a big bloody crow goddess. And as you know, crows are carrion birds. They come and eat the dead when times they are a bloody.
Well, they're generally scavengers.
But she's the one that challenges Cuchulainn. So Cuchulainn is our big hero, and he has his final stand in the Ulster cycle of mythology over the Tonbo. No, I'm going to get that wrong. Is it the Ton? It is the Ton. Yeah, the Tonbo Cúilnge, which is the big epic bull saga in Ulster mythology, where Queen Maeve has a wealth off with her lover, husband, depends on which way you look at it. And basically they have a dick measuring competition with the amount of stuff they have. Her husband has one thing over her, which is a bigger bull, And she's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to go find one.
Yeah.
So she goes around the country and she leaves Ulster and she finds someone somewhere else. And as with all Irish farmers, she offers him a lot of money. He goes, nah, you're grand.
That's my cow.
I'm going to keep my cow.
Yeah.
Going to keep my cow. Go fuck yourself. And she's like, right, well, all out war it is, so, because I have to beat my husband. And Cuchulainn steps in on behalf of the other king of the other province. Is it Leinster? Is he Leinster?
I don't know.
Or Munster? I can't remember which province he is. But Cuchulainn, I think, is either Leinster-based or Munster-based, and he steps in to defend the king in this battle because Maeve has the biggest army in the country, and he wants to help out. And he can, because Cuchullann's a bloody badass. So he's well able. Takes them all out, does quite a bit of damage over time, uses the ancient right of trial by combat, which is 1-on-1. He just takes out lad after lad after lad after lad after lad.
Yeah, that's how I would beat Pennywise.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how you'd beat most armies, Mick. You'd be like, right, one at a time.
No, I'd probably get 3 and then I'd be tired.
Yeah, well, you're not an ancient Celtic hero.
Not as young as I used to be.
You're an ancient Celtic hero. Could have done it about 5 years ago, but now. We don't know if we fancy that. Anyway,
what's this got to do with Morrigan? Twist now.
He's doing great. He's absolutely nailing it. And so the Morrigan steps in. She makes a deal with, I think it's Maeve herself. And she bloody tries to seduce him first of all.
Oh, very good.
She's like, come here to me, right? You're well sexy and well able to kill people.
That'll bloody work on me then.
And I'm well sexy and I'm into dead people. So come here to me. Look.
Let's do a team up.
Couple of pints. We'll see what happens. My gas around the corner.
Yeah,
my tent's over there.
Yeah, I'll milk your cow.
Exactly. And Cuchulainn goes, nah, you're all right, love. As with all coppers' interactions, sometimes you're just not drunk enough. And he goes, nah, you're grand.
Something suspicious about you.
Gives a nod to the bouncer, says, thanks a million, lads. And they give him an old nod and he strolls on out. And first of all...
Yeah, go on.
Not only does this scupper the Morrigan's plans, but it also pisses her off, right? She's like, I'm a fucking ride.
Yeah.
How dare you turn me down? I've got a real flair for storytelling.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
And so then she takes it upon herself to take him down a peg or two.
Yeah. And
she tries this in a bunch of different ways. She tries to kill him, first of all, in 3 different ways.
Classic woman.
And didn't say that. Actually, for once, that actually wasn't chauvinist of the podcast, Ben. So he does it in 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Once she does it by transforming into
a truck, a red truck.
Not a truck, but I think it's a boar or something like that.
Okay.
And the way he sorts that is, he gives it a box in the side, and he breaks her ribs, and she's like, "Oh fuck, that was a bit rough." And she limps off. She comes back a second time and she organises a stampede against him. She turns into a big crow to scare a stampede.
The classic Uncle Scar.
And to stop that, he swings an L-sling and puts out one of her eyes. He's fucking bollocks like.
Yeah.
And the last time she turns into a heifer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that's a bit of misogyny there all the same. But she's an absolute heifer, that woman.
Yeah. After the marriage or before?
Hey. Oh, this one's
Oh, one of us is going to get a sling in the eye.
Only one of us has a good lady friend in this room. And he then breaks her leg.
Yeah.
So she realizes, right, I'm not taking him on physically because that shit's not working.
Yeah.
So she comes up with something else. She transforms herself into an old woman.
Oh, yeah.
And
before the wedding or after?
She's there cleaning bloody armour.
Yeah.
And that's a real important in Celtic mythology. If you see an old woman cleaning bloody armour, you're probably going to die in battle.
Bloody get out of there.
Yeah. Do an L run. But anyway, he offers to help her because he's bloody decent lad.
Good
sound bloke.
Yeah, he'll punch a woman, but he'll
help her clean up after an old one.
Yeah.
And she offers him tea and blah blah, and he doesn't recognise her because this old woman has a missing eye. She's clutching her side and she has an old wobbly leg.
Yeah.
So we know it's the Morrigan. We know it's the Morrigan. He doesn't cop it because he was great at swinging a fist, not so good at cracking a book. And so anyway, he gives her 3 blessings to thank her for the tea. Those 3 blessings heal her wounds.
Oh, yeah. Can he do blessings now?
Oh, Cuchullainn's got well, I mean, you're looking at Christian adaptations of what we have.
Okay.
The original probably would have been a lot bloodier. But anyway.
Go on.
But anyway, he gets the blessings. She runs off. She blesses his best friend. She gets her full power back, blesses his best friend, and he has to go up against him in battle.
Oh, no.
And he loses eventually because she blesses all his weapons and pretty much turns the friend right against him. They're not happy about it. They train together under Scáthach, who's the famous Celtic kind of warrior trainer woman. And the friend actually gives up eventually. He's like, no, do you know what? I can't do this. But it's too late. Cuchulainn gets now a spear in the side. Bit like Jesus.
Bit like Jesus.
But straps himself to a rock. And as long as he stays
yeah.
in the rock, no one in the other army will advance. So that's kind of Morgan's big moment to shine. She pitches up in other things, but she's always there to collect the dead, or just generally cause a bit of a battle. One of the interesting things about Morgan is that she's a three-faced god. So it's thought to be three sisters. Bob, Badhab, Meowan, Meamhain,
Bob,
and Nyavda, I think is the correct way to do it. So these are the three sisters of death. One is an old woman, as we've previously encountered.
A sexy old woman.
One is a young, sexy lady, and the other is a young, non-sexy lady that we don't want to do. Stephen King can write about her, but we can't.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's the way she normally appears, as the three sisters. One is death, one is war, and the other one is undefined into what her realm is. But she's a big spooky thing.
Big spooky skeleton. Ben, as we were saying, one of the problems in many films is that when the villains appear, you can just kick the shit out of them. If you know,
we've long held that thought.
It's the reason that, for example, the TV show Supernatural or Buffy or any of those things aren't horror.
Supernatural hurt my feelings
because anything that shows up, they find a way to kick the shit out of it.
Yeah,
basically.
there is a way to do it.
If there's a way to kick the shit out of it, the Winchester brothers or Buffy or who else beats up supernatural things?
Scooby-Doo?
No, they're always fake.
Oh.
Although there was a crossover, a Winchester Brothers Scooby-Doo crossover.
Yeah, there was.
I didn't see it, but apparently quite funny. Ben, so anyway, let's cross over that idea with the concept that you just
butter, Michael.
You just brought. Sometimes I'm so smooth I don't even realize it. You just brought up the concept of Irish legends having been quite portentous.
Yes, they do. They're full of portent. Very important.
That's not funny because those words come from the same origin. That's like.
But pejoratively speaking, that's quite funny.
Anyway.
You have to look up what pejorative means.
You look it up there.
Go on.
And I'll tell you, Ben, about my favourite, for that very reason, my favourite Irish mytholegendary creature.
Did you say McLegendary?
Mytholegendary. It's the Banshee, Ben.
Oh, the Banshee.
You tell us about the Banshee very, very briefly. And then I will tell you how I think it could be the untapped potential of being a great horror film.
Oh, a bit of a spoiler here for you. So let's take a look at the Banshee. The Banshee
What's the spoiler?
My friend made a short film all about the Banshee.
Oh, really?
It's a horror film.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Okay, we'll watch that later.
I'll find out where he is. They were at the Venice Film Festival and it did very well.
Oh, that's cool.
But I will find out and I'll get it. We might actually try and get him on.
Yeah, we'll bloody talk about it.
Well. Yeah. But we'll have your pitch first.
I'll tell you what I think would be good, and then you tell me, that's it.
So the Banshee
I'll sue him. Or else insult him and then kick him in the head.
The Banshee is an Irish spectre and a portent of death.
Yeah.
If you hear the Banshee, someone you know is going to die, you're going to kick the bucket. It's been interpreted a couple of different ways. The Banshee or the Banshee is the anglicisation of Banshee. She in Irish is fairy and Ban is woman, so it's the woman of the fairies. But she's a big, spooky, silky, spectre-y thing.
Yeah. Sometimes big, sometimes small.
Sometimes very beautiful, sometimes very old.
Yeah.
A couple of things that you should bear in mind before you deal with a Banshee. If you see a beautiful young woman combing her hair with a very beautiful silver comb, don't steal that comb.
Don't steal it.
Because it belongs to a Banshee and she'll bloody get you. She'll bloody come and get you. But they generally belong to families. In our mythology, each old Celtic family gets their own Banshee to warn them of impending death.
So Ben, when I was a young gentleman, I read the packet of the crisps Banshee bones, and it forever scarred me and made me terrified of banshees.
Banshee bones were great, weren't they?
Delicious, pickled onion, was it? Something very artificial and gross, but what are you looking at?
Expressing contempt or disapproval.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were joking about not knowing what pejorative meant.
No, I just got it completely wrong.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, so you're quite pejorative with me.
No, you don't. That's not how you use it. We'll talk about this later. I'll teach you how to use pejorative.
Oh,
later.
It's used as an adjective before a word.
Yes. So you could say, Ben, how can I do this without saying something
Mick's
that
a
I don't
fucking
mean?
bully. How pejorative of you.
No, not like you could say, that party was very gay, and I don't mean in the pejorative sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
a happy sense.
No, I just mean that there were a lot of gay people at it.
Hopefully no clowns, though.
No bloody clowns.
No bloody clowns.
Anyway, Ben, the Banshee.
Get on.
So, the Banshee, Ben, I think, is an untapped potential for a great film.
Sure.
And will bloody maybe not untapped, according to you. Because a lot of American interpretations of the Banshee have gone the way of the Banshee's wail.
Oh, very good.
Right? So they're always bloody wailing and screaming. And they're in the legends, Ben, they're wailing and screaming because someone has died or someone is going to die.
Yeah.
But that got kind of twisted by Americanizations into a kind of attack. That the Banshee's wail is an attack.
Oh, it's like a sonic scream.
It's a sonic scream, or it can kill you with its voice, or that's the usual interpretation of a Banshee.
Classic American, isn't
that
it?
it's going to come up and go, ah, and your head's going to explode or something.
Explode?
Right? Yeah. So we'll get rid of that, right?
Go on.
And in this story, we'll have a character. His name is, let's say, Ben.
Hi.
Yeah. It's not you. It will be played by Michael Fassbender.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've always felt that Michael Fassbender should play me in a film.
Yeah. Okay. So Michael Fassbender is playing you, right?
Yeah, get in.
And you live with your wife and child.
Yes.
And you're an engineer.
Yes.
Right? And you have been sent, as part of your job as an engineer, you're going to work on a project in a small town in Boston.
Good.
This all starts at the beginning of the film, right?
Boston, that America.
Boston in that America, right? So off you go to Boston. Luckily, Ben, almost all of your family moved to Boston during the economic depression of the 80s and the 2000s.
Oh, I see.
So although you are Irish from Dublin,
I am.
all of your family
Michael.
most of your family live in Boston. But your wife and child stay in Dublin because you're not going to be gone for too long. You're only gone for a few months. One night, Ben, you're in bed and something wakes you up.
Ooh.
And you're walking around your house at night going, what's going on? I feel strange.
Mm.
Then, very suddenly, you hear...
Michael, my coward's blood is getting a fierce spike there. So
and your
coward's
blood goes, oh, what the fuck is that? And it goes, and it gets louder and louder. It's like,
this is lovely listening for.
Then
look at the waveform.
That's a good wave, wasn't it? That's a good wave. So then, Ben, the camera's following you around, and you go into, let's say, the living room, and on the living room. In the living room, we see for a tiny fraction of a second a disproportionately huge, spooky, scary woman. And we see it for a tiny bit, and then you wake up in your bed.
Ooh.
And you're like, oh.
Am I safe?
What the hell was that? Then, Ben, the phone rings. And on the phone, you're given the devastating news that your wife and child have died in a car crash.
Ah, tits.
Yeah, not good.
Ah.
Suboptimal.
Fassbender, okay?
No, he's very upset.
Okay.
Because you are Fassbender, Ben.
I am Fassbender.
Fassbender's playing you.
I've always thought that.
You're
always thought that.
son of a bitch.
I led you right into a compliment.
Anyway,
Michael.
right? You go bloody back to Ireland. You go to the bloody funeral, and you kind of forget that.
My wife and kid.
No, that about the crying monster dream, the wailing thing dream from the night before.
Fair enough.
So, a few months pass. Your company is very understanding, and they say we'll put the project on hold, and then you can go back in a few months when you get everything sorted out. So in a few months you go back, and when you arrive, one night you're just walking home from work, and you hear the sound again.
You do it, yeah. That is actually what Mick sounds like when he's crying, by the way. A couple of weeks ago, we had some technical issues here in the podcast, and I got a phone call, and I thought it was a banshee. It wasn't. It was Mick telling me that the sound quality was shite.
I'm sure I've said this in the podcast before, but you know that the common belief is that the legend of the banshee comes from the sounds of foxes.
I didn't know that, Mike.
Yeah, foxes.
You didn't tell me that.
Foxes' mating calls sound like almost exactly like that. Get an audio file up.
This is going to be fun for listeners.
Anyway, Ben, we don't see a monster this time. We just see you going around going, what the hell, where is it?
Fair.
Right? Then you go back to town, you kind of forget about it, and the next morning you find out that your cousin who lives in Boston has died.
Oh, for fuck's sake, lads.
Yeah, not optimal.
Not optimal at all.
Completely suboptimal.
I have a Scream of the Red Fox here.
Yeah, play it.
I don't know if it's any good. I'm not
play
going to blast it into the speaker.
No, play it just in case it's gross.
Yeah, that'll do it. That was awful. Didn't like that at all.
They get loud. They do long.
That's awful.
Yeah, the red foxes. They make a very horrific noise.
It's very loud.
Cats do one as well, but cats sound more like babies. Red foxes sound like.
That was awful.
Yeah. It's definitely where the inspiration for the. Because
Absolutely.
imagine you lived in an ancient Irish village, and you heard those weird noises.
Fuck that.
Right? And you go, what the fuck was that? That was some sort of monster. And then 3 weeks later, because news travelled a lot more slowly, 3 weeks later, you found out some member of your extended family had died.
Maybe that was
And you
around the
go,
time I heard that bloody monster.
That was that bloody monster warning us. That's definitely where the legend of the Banshee comes from. Anyway, Ben, you don't see the Banshee again,
Oh.
but your cousin dies.
Tits.
So you start asking people, and it turns out, in a series of little vignettes,
Oh, vignette.
like 7 or 8 little vignettes,
Vignette.
son of a bitch, people all throughout the town have been seeing.
A spooky, scary.
Some of them have been seeing it, some of them have been hearing it, and we see the various stories told by these people of their encounters with this creature, and gradually you piece together that the common denominator is they're all Irish.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so that's the kind of idea for the. Then I kind of stole this a little bit as well, but
Go on.
The denouement, I think, would be that a disaster is coming, like a big fire in the town,
Nice.
or let's say a fire in the bloody. What do Irish people do in Boston? A fire
Drink.
a fire in the drink factory. A fire.
Not the brewery.
A fire on the docks or something is coming.
On the docks.
And
What year is this again?
now,
Oh, is it now? Irish people don't work on docks.
what do Irish people do in Boston? Probably graphic design. a fire.
Maybe we should set it in the 80s because then you get a cool 80s.
Well, you could
aesthetic.
set it in the
We could
80s,
do
yeah.
it in the 80s.
Yeah,
Let's do an
set it
80s.
in the 80s. But the whole
That's why
point
we,
of
this
it
is why
is
we workshop things, Michael.
the whole point of it is there's no monster to punch, because the Banshee is nothing to do with causing it.
She's just letting you know. She's
A
giving you-
portent.
It's a bit of a Final Destination vibe.
A little bit of a Final Destination vibe, a little bit of a Mothman Prophecies vibe.
Haven't seen that one.
Mothman Prophecies is very good and is a very strong inspiration for this, to the point you could call it a rip-off.
Thank you, Michael.
But it's mythological.
Okay, I like it.
And I think it would be an untapped potential for a very scary, spooky horror film.
So yours is very different, Michael.
Go on.
Yours is very different from the one that my former classmate did. His one is a much more vengeful banshee, and it's all about a little island off the coast of Ireland
Oh,
who
go on.
finds that a vengeful, evil banshee has come back to the island and is wreaking her revenge on the.
You see, that's the type of
Right.
banshee I would like to avoid.
Yes. Well, then you'd have a very different film. There's the poster, Michael. I'll give you a look at the poster.
Better give that a watch.
We probably should, yeah. I shall get in touch with Donica and ask him. There's an actual monster. You can see a little glimpse there.
Oh yeah, could you kick the shit out of
the
it?
monstery stuff? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you to go off and kick the shit out of old women that you think might be a banshee, Michael, because I feel like that's probably going to lead us down to some murky court cases.
I don't know
down the line.
I don't know who would play your love interest, Ben. I think it would be good for your love interest to be played by someone ethnically different, like.
I'd be very representative of Dublin during.
No, it's set in
these
Boston.
days. No, but my wife is in Dublin.
No, your wife is dead.
So wait, I have a love interest outside of my.
Because
So even wait for the courts to be cold.
But like this takes place over a very long time,
Oh, okay.
and your love interest, I think she should be ethnically different, not for diversity, Ben, because
You're not big on diversity at all, Michael.
No, I think that the reason that they should be ethnically different is that they don't believe it, can't see it,
They don't have any
can't
frame
hear
of
it.
reference.
No, but very.
Oh, it'd be a very good plot device.
Yeah. So, like,
Just, you know what? Just
let's
talk this
say
through.
you could actually see the monster once in the presence of your new love interest, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
And then you're like, "Oh
She's
shit."
just there weeping in the corner, and
Yeah.
they're going, "Are you shitting me? Do I have an alcohol problem at this point?
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
give my
oh, yeah.
character- Oh, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
excellent." She's like, "I can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
Oh, Michael,
Yeah.
full fucking script to coming.
And Fassbender will probably bring his own drink,
Hey.
from what I've heard.
Oh, you won't do it now.
Oh yeah, damn it.
We could have my cousin be Jack Rayner. They work together all the time. Him and Jack Rayner are best mates. We get Killian Murphy in somewhere.
Killian Murphy will play the Banshee. Killian Murphy would be in it. Jack Rayner would definitely be in it.
Yeah.
Who else would be in it?
Brendan
Fassbender, obviously.
Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
My
Brendan
dad
Gleeson.
going, son.
It's the
Nothing you can
Banshee.
do.
It's the Banshee. Just get out of there, son. Save yourself. You know, if you hear the keening of the Banshee, it's not you who'll be dying.
Interestingly, my family name on my mother's side, Keenan.
Oh, you've revealed a lot about
There you
yourself
go,
there,
there you
such as
go, yeah.
probably your passwords.
Nah, you're safe on that one. My passwords are all super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 _.
Wrap us up there, Ben.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any weird, unusual Celtic creatures that you think would make excellent horror movie
the Banshee.
villains? Do you have better timing for seasonal episodes than we do? Have you seen It Too? What did you think of it? Did you think that Bill Skarsgård loses a bit of his oomph now that it's a fully revealed monster? For some reason, we've had a horror-themed episode, but there are other types of episodes that you'd like to hear. You can get in touch with us on seomrabeag.com, SEOMORABEAG.com.
It means small room in Irish.
It means small room, which is Tiny Room Productions, which is what we are. If you don't feel like getting in touch with us on the website, we are on Instagram. You can leave us a comment below if you're listening to us on YouTube.
On Facebook.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we would love a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us a lot. If you're watching the video, throw us a like.
Throw us a like.
We love a like.
Yeah, we love a like.
We're very needy.
Yeah.
If you have a cure for coward's blood, please contact Ben directly.
Yeah.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a great week.
Yeah, if you would like me to come around to your house and bully you, it's a service I offer.
It's a bit costly.
Yeah, it's
to
very
be fair,
expensive.
for some reason he charges a massive amount of money. He vastly overestimates the market here. But anyway, that's it from us. Bye.
Yeah, nothing sexual.